stand room only crowd at the bank for Monday night? I mean, how big can that be for the team?
Huge. Like I said, the guys have worked their tails off, since really we got here, right? These guys have done everything we've asked them to do from that standpoint. And to have the support of the community at the game, making it as loud as humanly possible, will be awesome. I mean, it's just a great op for our city, for our organization, for sure.
Trevon missed 2 days of practice. What have you seen from the guys in the position group without him?
Yeah, I think those guys know they may have to step up. There's multiple guys that have played in those opportunities within the flow of games. A guy like, Dennis Garda continues to play better as well. Agba, Smoot, those guys have all done a nice job. BJ Green got going a little bit last week. So it'll be a little bit by committee, but I have a lot of faith in those guys up front.
How much flexibility is Dennis giving you guys?
Yeah, a ton. I think he's getting more and more comfortable each week, and within obviously himself and within the system, and playing with those guys, playing the style of football that ultimately we'd like to be able to play, and making some plays. I mean, his energy and all that we've all been appreciative of, but he's also made some plays for us, and I think the guys really like him.
So most likely Trayvon's probably not. I mean, after not practicing 2 days.
We're going to go right down to the wire with it. We will. It's just as much as he can, keep getting the swelling and all that stuff. It's just a matter of that. So I trust that if he says he can go, then, we'll go.
The O-line's been really good in practice pro so far this year. How do you make a plan for a guy like Chris Jones?
Yeah, you've really got to be cognizant of him with the slide first and foremost, and then helping each other out, right? Like if you have nobody to block in your moment, let's maybe take a look at where 95 is. Tight ends, running backs, everybody has to be involved, and not that the quarterback needs to think about that. That's more so just the way we try to get the ball spit. It's a little different with the way that they play on the back end is very sticky. Like there's not a hitch on the field to throw. There's no free access. There's no get out of jail, man. Let me just go get a completion, take a deep breath, and throw a Omaha. Those don't exist on the field. So we've got to be great with our DTA decision, timing, accuracy, receivers, getting off press. That also helps impact and affect 95.
Always important, but is it more important in a game like this to maybe keep the offense off the field too?
Yeah, they want every opportunity they can get to get a possession, right? Especially end to half. You really look at how aggressive they are using timeouts. And trying to get the ball back to their offense regardless of how much time's left. So definitely want to be able to control it if we can. That's the goal. More ops we can have offensively to keep the ground game going, to keep the balance going. That'll definitely help us out in a game like this.
Is Trevor doing a good job walking the line of taking shots when they're there and then checking down when they're not, or there's some shots that he's missed and you want him to take more?
I think there's that fine line of making sure that we're being obviously smart with the football, but taking advantage of some of the ops down the field that maybe we've missed right now, and that's just seeing some of the concepts and being a little bit more aggressive with some of the mentality, which I think he's done a nice job of taking the underneath, and we've converted a lot. Now it's like, okay, let's go take some of those opportunities. Let's let our guys go potentially make some plays down the field, especially because we're going to have to beat them. Like I said, there's no hitches. So there's very little that can exist outside the numbers within 5 yards. So we got to get it in the holes back here, the middle, and a little bit further down the field. They do play a lot of too high, cover two. But they mix it with man, so you can get some runaways and try to push the ball a little bit more towards that 20, 25, 30-yard range. We're going to need to do that to be able to say, like, our guys can go by you. You have to be threatened by this and not just load up and say everything's going to be caught 20 yards within. So, yeah, big week for that.
A wall question, but you're not a quarterback arm band guy, no?
No, I mean we've talked to him about it. You know, we've asked him if he was wanted to use it, and he doesn't want to use it right now. He just feels like it's helping him, even though there's been some issues with motion, personnel, whatever it is. It's a process, and we have to clean that process up as coaches, for sure. The players have an accountability to it, but it's on us as coaches to make sure we're not putting too much on their plate. And he feels like when he hears it, he starts to visualize it better than hearing wristband 15. You have no idea what that play is. And the first time you're starting to visualize it is when you're reading it off the wristband of the players. So now you're going, all right, Zemo to south right, close F short, 17 tip insert, can 16 sip. And then you got to go break the huddle and process that, as opposed to hearing it while he's outside the huddle. Now he can start to visualize it. He says it one more time. He's then again visualizing what he has to do. That's kind of been the process, and hopefully we can clean a lot of that up, because that has been something we've struggled with. And no, I'm not against it at all. I did it all at Kentucky. That was how we called plays. It was all off wristband, so I'm not against it by any means. Yeah, that's been more of a collaboration decision between all of us.
Last couple of weeks played about as physical as we've seen around here in a while. Is there another level to that for you guys, or do you think it's more about sustaining the way you played the last couple of weeks in that department?
I think that's likely to be the case. I mean, they are playing very violent. Like, the strain and finish is not really something we're pointing out on our film on a weekly basis that isn't showing up, right? We don't have a ton of guys being graded for loafs on the field. So it's this part that we need to continue to take the next step. And I'm not saying we can take a dip in terms of the way that we play the game, the violence, the finish, the strain. But I think you clean up some of the pre-snap stuff, you clean up some of the communication in all three phases, and now we can just go and not hurt ourselves and try to really go focus on beating the opponent with that violence, physicality, toughness, strain, and finish that we've been playing with.
Said he's kind of in a new role as one of the older guys in the receiver room. How have you kind of seen him embrace just stepping up as a leader?
Yeah, I think it was obviously missed having him this past weekend, but I thought he was great on the sidelines with the guys, communicating what was being seen out there, talking them through it. You know, obviously when we did hit some negative stretches there, I know he was on the sidelines with those guys trying to just be as present as he could be. Diami has, in so many ways, I think, impacted the room where, he's always been, since we got here, a 6 a.m., get in, do his weights, rehab, prehab, treatment. Like, he's, all last week getting ready to go play with that shoulder. I mean, Ferg was saying he did everything in his power. He wanted to play so badly. He did everything. He lived here. So that's a great thing for those guys to be able to continue to feed off each other with. So, yeah, he's been great.
A lot of these guys kind of play with a chip on their shoulder. Feels like that's kind of the mentality this team's taking on, prove everybody else wrong. Does that help going into a game like this? You're going against the Chiefs. It's Monday Night Football. A lot of people outside of Jacksonville are probably going to lean that way.
Yeah, I think that's definitely become a little bit part of who we are. Look, to gain and earn respect, you have to go take it. And we can do, there's just not much you can say besides your tape being your resume. And, earning respect, obviously, in the way that we play and the style in which we want to play the game with. But also, winning, right? Winning, going and taking wins is also really important. So, I think that these guys are confident, but also understand that, we have a great opponent coming in, but this is truly about us. Let's go take the next step as a team and see what happens.
Coach, thank you
Great.
very much.
Thanks, guys.